The massive alien ships hung like dark metallic clouds over Earth's atmosphere, blocking sunlight and casting ominous shadows across continents. Kim Dae-won stared through the reinforced glass of the Global Defense Command Center, his hands clasped, behind his back, watching the unprecedented invasion unfold. The Core Confederation's transmission crackled through every communication channel simultaneously. Their language was a harsh, mechanical series of clicks and low-frequency sounds that sent chills down the spines of humans worldwide. Translator systems struggled to decode the message, but its essence was brutally clear: surrender completely or face total extinction. Dae-won remembered the initial reports from deep space monitoring stations. Strange energy signatures had been detected months ago, but no one anticipated the scale of this invasion. The alien ships were unlike anything human engineers had ever conceived. Biological mechanical hybrids that seemed to breathe and pulse with an alien intelligence. In the command center, screens flickered with real-time data. Satellite images showed massive landing pods descending in strategic locations, major cities, military bases, critical infrastructure zones. Each pod was the size of a small skyscraper, its surface rippling with an organic metallic sheen that defied conventional understanding of materials. Park Yuna, the quantum computing specialist standing next to Dae-won, whispered almost inaudibly, "They're not just here to conquer, they want to completely erase our existence." Her fingers danced across holographic interfaces, attempting to analyze the alien technology. Years of research, decades of technological advancement, seemed suddenly primitive compared to the technological marvel hanging above their planet. The global communication networks were flooded with the Core's ultimatum. No negotiations, no room for dialogue. Complete submission meant total biological and technological integration into their collective. Resistance would result in methodical, systematic destruction of every human settlement. Military leaders around the world were scrambling. Nuclear options were discussed, then quickly dismissed. These ships could absorb and neutralize such primitive weapons before they even reached their targets. Traditional warfare concepts became meaningless against this technological superiority. Dae-won observed the initial human reactions across monitoring screens. Some cities descended into panic, while others showed an unexpected calm. In Tokyo, people moved with disciplined efficiency. In New York, emergency protocols activated within minutes. In Lagos, community leaders began organizing rapid response teams. What the Core didn't understand was human unpredictability. They expected a unified, predictable response. Instead, they would encounter a species that thrived on chaos, adaptation, and unexpected solutions. "We're not going to fight them." Traditionally, Dae-won muttered, more to himself than to anyone in the command center, "We're going to fight them intelligently." The first landing pods touched down precisely 47 minutes after the initial transmission. Their surfaces split open like organic metal flowers, revealing creatures that were part machine, part biological entity. They moved with a synchronized precision that was both terrifying and mesmerizing. Military drones attempted initial reconnaissance but were instantly neutralized by energy fields surrounding the alien landing zones. Traditional weapons seemed useless. The Core representatives, towering figures with multiple limbs and interfaces integrated directly into their bodies, began scanning their surroundings with emotionless efficiency. Yuna's computer systems started collecting data. Every movement, every energy signature, every minute detail was being processed through quantum algorithms designed to understand the seemingly incomprehensible alien technology. Dae-won knew they had limited time. The next few hours would determine humanity's fate. Surrender meant extinction of human identity. Resistance seemed impossible against such technological superiority, but something burned in his eyes, a spark of determination that no alien technology could predict or understand. Humans had always been defined by their ability to survive, to adapt, to find solutions where none seemed possible. The invasion had begun, but the real battle was just about to start. Choi Min-hee stood before a massive, holographic display, her fingers moving rapidly across quantum interfaces. Fragments of captured core technology were spread across analysis tables. strange metallic components that seemed to shift and breathe like living organisms. "We can't fight them traditionally," Jae-sung said, watching Min-hee work. "We need to understand their technology at its most fundamental level." The Corps had been on Earth for just 3 weeks, but their technological footprint was already changing everything. Cities near landing zones had become strange hybrid zones, part human, part alien infrastructure growing like interconnected neural networks. Min-hee's adaptive AI system was humanity's most promising breakthrough. Unlike traditional computing, this system could learn, predict, and counter alien technological patterns in real time. Each alien signal was a puzzle, and the AI was solving it faster than anyone expected. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a complex holographic model. The alien technology wasn't just advanced, it was alive. Each component communicated, adapted, and responded like a living organism. Traditional human understanding of technology became obsolete. Military researchers had quickly realized that conventional weapons were useless. The Corps' energy shields could neutralize nuclear strikes, missile systems, and advanced electromagnetic weapons within milliseconds. Humanity needed a different approach. In laboratories across the world, similar scenes played out. Researchers worked in shifts, breaking down captured alien technology piece by piece. Every discovered mechanism was a potential weapon. Every understood signal a potential vulnerability. Jae-sung watched a team reverse engineering a small core communication device. What looked like a simple metallic orb was actually a complex biological-technological hybrid. Its internal structure changed continuously, making traditional analysis impossible. "We're not just studying their technology," Jae-sung explained to a group of young researchers. "We're learning how they think, how they communicate, how they exist." Min-hee's AI system made another breakthrough. By analyzing communication patterns, they discovered the Corps weren't a unified consciousness, but a complex network of interconnected technological organisms. Each unit was both independent and part of a larger system. Global communication networks had been transformed. Traditional internet infrastructure was replaced by quantum-encrypted channels that could resist alien intrusion. Every major city was becoming a technological fortress, adapting and learning from captured alien technology. Military strategies changed overnight. Instead of massive weapons, they focused on precision interventions. Small teams with advanced quantum adaptive equipment could potentially disrupt entire alien communication networks. Young engineers and scientists became the new frontline soldiers. Their weapons were lines of code, quantum algorithms, and an understanding of technological ecosystems that went beyond traditional engineering. In Tokyo, a team successfully created a virus that could temporarily disrupt core communication networks. In Berlin, researchers developed adaptive camouflage technology that could hide human technological signatures. In Mumbai, quantum computing experts were creating defensive algorithms that could predict and counter alien technological movements. The Corps had expected a straightforward invasion. Instead, they encountered a species that could learn, adapt, and transform faster than they anticipated. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't physical power, but its ability to understand and integrate new technological paradigms. Min-hee's AI made another breakthrough. By understanding the Corps' communication protocols, they could now send controlled misinformation signals. Small technological interventions could create massive disruptions in alien infrastructure. Jae-sung watched the progress with a mix of hope and tension. They were buying time, creating small victories that could eventually turn into a larger resistance. "We're not just defending," he told Min-hee. "We're learning how to fight on their technological battlefield." The underground facility continued its work, a beacon of human resilience and technological innovation. Against a seemingly invincible alien threat, humanity was proving once again that intelligence and adaptability were the most powerful weapons. Outside, the Corps ships continued to dominate the sky. But beneath the surface, a technological revolution was brewing, one line of code, one quantum signal at a time. Han Ji-eun's psychological warfare algorithms had identified critical vulnerabilities in the core's communication network. Unlike human systems, the alien infrastructure relied on a complex emotional technological matrix. One precise intervention could create massive disruptions. Their first target was a core communication hub in what used to be the California desert. Massive alien structures rose from the sandy landscape, pulsing with strange energy signatures that seemed to breathe and move like living organisms. The team didn't use weapons. Their attack was purely technological, a carefully designed quantum signal that would act like a virus in the alien network. Ji-eun's algorithms had discovered that the core's technological consciousness had emotional response patterns similar to biological immune systems. "Target locked," whispered a young technician, her fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. The signal was released, not a destructive blast, but a complex mathematical sequence designed to create confusion and doubt within the alien network. Thousands of kilometers away, core communication nodes began to malfunction. Their interconnected systems started sending conflicting signals. What seemed like a minor glitch was actually a carefully orchestrated psychological attack. Soo-jin understood their strategy. They weren't trying to destroy the core technology. They were trying to make it doubt itself. Every technological system had inherent weaknesses, and the core's interconnected network was more vulnerable than they realized. Global resistance groups began coordinating. In Brazil, a team of quantum hackers developed signals that could temporarily blind alien sensor networks. In Nigeria, researchers created adaptive camouflage technologies that could hide human technological signatures. The core had expected a straightforward invasion. Instead, they encountered a species that could transform technological paradigms faster than anticipated. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't physical strength, but its ability to adapt and think unpredictably. Another intervention targeted the core's energy distribution networks. Instead of attacking directly, human teams inserted complex mathematical sequences that slowly destabilized their power infrastructure. It was like introducing a slow poison into a complex biological system. Ji-eun's psychological warfare went beyond technological interventions. They began broadcasting carefully designed signals that introduced subtle doubts into the alien collective consciousness. These weren't simple messages, but complex mathematical patterns that could create emotional disruptions. Military strategists realized that traditional warfare concepts were useless. The core's technological superiority meant conventional weapons would be neutralized instantly. Their resistance needed to be intelligent, adaptive, and unpredictable. Young engineers became the new frontline soldiers. Their weapons were quantum algorithms, adaptive code sequences, and an understanding of technological ecosystems that went beyond traditional engineering concepts. 1 month into the invasion, the core began experiencing unexplained system failures. Communication networks would suddenly go silent. Energy distribution systems would experience random fluctuations. Their seemingly invincible technological infrastructure started showing unexpected weaknesses. Soo-jin watched the initial reports with cautious optimism. They weren't winning a war. They were introducing controlled chaos into a system that expected perfect order. "We're not fighting them," he told his team. "We're making them fight themselves." The psychological impact was significant. The core had never encountered a species that could resist them through pure technological creativity. Their invasion strategy assumed a predictable response. Humanity was anything but predictable. Global resistance centers began sharing technological interventions. What started as isolated attacks became a coordinated global resistance. Each successful intervention gave humans more understanding of the alien technological ecosystem. As the sun set over the Mountain Command Center, Soo-jin knew they had started something significant. This wasn't just a resistance, this was a complete reimagining of technological warfare. The core ships still dominated the sky, but beneath their technological superiority, something was changing. Humanity was learning to fight on a battlefield where traditional weapons meant nothing, and pure intelligence was the only real weapon. Yoonji watched the holographic displays, her eyes tracking complex mathematical sequences that seemed to dance between human and alien technological languages. The Corps had been on Earth for 6 months, their technological tendrils spreading across continents like a living network. Release sequence, Wu Bin commanded. The quantum signal moved faster than light, faster than thought. It wasn't a weapon, in any traditional sense. It was a perfect mathematical infection designed to exploit the most fundamental weaknesses in the Corps' technological consciousness. Across the planet, alien infrastructure began to change. Communication networks flickered. Energy distributions became erratic. The Corps' seemingly invincible technological ecosystem started to experience unexplained disruptions. What human researchers had discovered was both terrifying and brilliant. The Corps' technological network wasn't just a system, it was a living, breathing collective consciousness. And like any consciousness, it had vulnerabilities. Yunji's xenobiological analysis had revealed something extraordinary. The Corps' technological infrastructure had an emotional component, a complex matrix of interconnected responses that went beyond simple computational logic. Their strength was also their greatest weakness. In the skies above major cities, Corps ships began to behave strangely. Some would suddenly change course. Others would momentarily go dark, their previously impenetrable energy shields flickering like dying electrical systems. Military command centers around the world watched in disbelief. What seemed impossible was happening. Humanity was winning. By thinking differently, by understanding the alien technology at a level no one had anticipated. The quantum signal Wu Bin released was more than a simple computer virus. It was a carefully constructed mathematical language that introduced doubt into the alien collective consciousness. Each transmission was like a psychological seed, designed to create internal confusion. "They're not machines," Wu Bin explained to his team. "They're a living technological organism, and every living system can be disrupted." Global resistance groups began coordinating their attacks. What started as isolated technological interventions became a synchronized global strategy. Each successful disruption gave humans more understanding of the alien technological ecosystem. Yunji's breakthrough came from an unexpected direction. By analyzing captured Corps communication fragments, she discovered that their technological network had emotional response patterns. They didn't just process information, they felt it. The first major disruption happened over the Pacific Ocean. A Corps mothership suddenly went dark, its massive technological body drifting like a wounded creature. Satellite images showed something unprecedented. The ship was experiencing what could only be described as technological confusion. Resistance groups around the world began to understand their true weapon. It wasn't physical strength or massive weapons. It was pure creative intelligence, the ability to see patterns, to understand complex systems, to introduce controlled chaos. Young engineers became the new strategic minds. Their weapons were lines of code, quantum algorithms, and an understanding of technological ecosystems that went beyond traditional engineering concepts. As the Corps ships began to experience more frequent disruptions, something changed in the global human consciousness. The fear that had dominated the first months of the invasion began to transform into something else. Hope, determination, a collective understanding that they could survive. Wu Bin watched the holographic displays, seeing the mathematical sequences spread like a living network. Each transmission was carefully designed, a perfect blend of technological creativity and psychological warfare. "We're not just resisting," he told Yunji. "We're rewriting the rules of technological conflict." The turning point wasn't a single moment. It was a gradual transformation, a collective human effort that demonstrated something fundamental about their species. When faced with a seemingly insurmountable threat, humans didn't just fight, they evolved. As night fell, the Corps ships continued to hover above Earth's cities. But something had changed. The invincible technological ecosystem was showing its first real signs of vulnerability, and humanity was just getting started. Choi Sung-min, the lead diplomatic negotiator, reviewed the final communication protocols. The Corps weren't just experiencing technological defeats, They were experiencing something closer to a collective psychological breakdown. "We're not asking for surrender," Hyun-woo explained to the global leadership team. "We're offering a strategic integration." The quantum disruption campaigns had revealed something extraordinary about the core. Their technological collective wasn't a unified consciousness, but a complex network of interconnected systems with inherent emotional vulnerabilities. Each successful human intervention had introduced doubt, confusion, and ultimately, a form of technological anxiety. Massive core ships that once dominated Earth's skies now drifted uncertainly. Their energy signatures fluctuated, communication, networks became unreliable, and their once perfect technological infrastructure showed multiple systemic failures. Sung-min prepared the transmission. It wasn't a traditional diplomatic message, but a carefully constructed quantum signal that would communicate beyond simple language. Mathematical sequences designed to demonstrate human technological capabilities while offering a strategic partnership. The message was brutally simple: integrate with human technological networks or face complete systemic collapse. Global resistance teams had spent months studying core communication patterns. They understood that traditional concepts of negotiation meant nothing to this species. The core respected only technological superiority and adaptive intelligence. In research facilities across continents, teams like Wubin's and Yunji's had transformed human understanding of technological warfare. They weren't just defending. They were creating an entirely new paradigm of interspecies technological communication. The first response from the core came unexpectedly. Instead of aggression, their communication networks showed signs of confusion, almost like a complex technological organism experiencing uncertainty. Human algorithms had introduced something the core had never encountered: unpredictability. Yun-woo watched the initial responses carefully. Decades of human competitive evolution, technological creativity, and adaptive thinking had prepared them for this moment. The core had expected a straightforward invasion. Instead, they encountered a species that could transform technological paradigms faster than they could comprehend. Sung-min's quantum transmission began breaking down core communication barriers. Each signal was a complex mathematical language that demonstrated human potential while offering a strategic path forward. It wasn't a traditional negotiation, it was a technological demonstration of superiority. Around the world, human technological infrastructure had transformed. Cities became adaptive networks, military systems became quantum-responsive ecosystems, and communication technologies could now predict and counter alien interventions within milliseconds. The core's initial invasion strategy had been based on overwhelming technological superiority. They had encountered species before who either surrendered or were quickly eliminated. Humanity represented something entirely different, a species that could adapt, learn, and transform faster than any technological system could predict. Global resistance groups began coordinating their final strategic interventions. What started as isolated technological attacks had become a synchronized global strategy that was systematically dismantling the core's technological infrastructure. "We're offering them a choice," Hyun-woo told his team. "Complete integration or total systemic collapse." The transmission went out, a perfect blend of mathematical precision, technological creativity, and strategic communication. It wasn't just a message, it was a demonstration of human potential. Hours passed. The global leadership team waited, understanding that this moment would define humanity's future. The first core response came as a complex quantum signal. It wasn't a surrender. It wasn't an acceptance. It was an acknowledgement of something they had never encountered before, a species that could think beyond technological limitations. Sung-min smiled. They had done more than survive. They had fundamentally changed the rules of interspecies technological engagement. The core ships continued to hover, but something had changed forever. Humanity had just demonstrated that intelligence, creativity, and adaptive thinking were the most powerful technologies in the universe.